In this video, we're going to go over the Explore folder in the Writing for the Natural Sciences unit, which is the second unit in the course. In course content, you'll find the Natural Sciences, and in that folder, there is an Explore folder for the first week of the unit. At the top, there are essay guidelines for what you are going to be writing about in this particular unit. Here are the essay guidelines for the Natural Sciences essay. It is very similar in length and structure in many ways to the previous essay. You're going to have 4 paragraphs, an intro, 2 body paragraphs, and a conclusion, and then also 600 words or more from intro to conclusion. The 600 words does not include the title page for APA or the works cited page at the end. You have to use third person only, so you can't use the first or second person. And then you also have to have APA formatting this time instead of MLA formatting. So we're learning a new formatting style because this is a sciences paper rather than a humanities essay. You also have to have one source from the college database that is utilized in the essay. You might actually end up wanting to use more than one, but one is the minimum required. This essay is based on a natural sciences concept, and it's going to require you to find a website article that talks about the positive and negative aspects of a situation. So to get us started, we'll go in the Explore folder, and when you scroll down, you'll see an Exploring Topics assignment where you have to go to this website, Bay Soundings, and then find an article you wish to use. You'll summarize that article in 100 words or more, and then you have to talk about one disturbing idea that's presented, one negative idea or aspect, and then one promising or positive idea that's presented in the article. So you have to get the right kind of article for this. You can't get one that only talks about the negatives or only talks about the positives. It has to cover both sides. And you need one that covers both sides because the disturbing idea and the promising idea will be the 2 body paragraphs of this essay. So if you're lacking one, then you're going to have a real problem creating your essay later on. Now, when you go to Bay Soundings, you have some things that are on the front page here of this journalistic piece, and you also have categories on the right side. So if you want to choose a category that interests you, you can do so. You'll probably have to read through a few articles to get something that's going to talk about the positives and negatives, or a good thing about the situation or a bad thing about the situation. Again, it has to be a 2-sided sort of article. It doesn't have to be evenly distributed throughout. It could mention one negative thing and then talk mostly about the positives. That's okay, as long as you have something to go off of based on that article. You can also go to the top and type in topics of interest for you. Again, these have to be environmental related topics, natural sciences topics. So you can type in anything that might, come to mind, or anything that you're interested in. Like if I wanted to do mine about the red tide, I can type in red tide and do a search and see what types of articles are present. Now, if you are really not finding anything on this website that you want to use, I would allow you to use additional outside journalism websites to get that 2-sided discussion on an environmental topic. So you could, for instance, go to the Tampa Bay Times or the Miami Herald or something like that. If you're not using the Bay Soundings and you're using a different website for this, please email me the link to the article you want me to consider before you actually write your assignment on it. Okay, just to make sure that it's coming from a good website, because we have to stay clear of secondary sources and stuff like that, but also to make sure that it has what it is we're looking for this particular essay. So yes, you can use websites other than this to find your article for this week, but have them approved by me before you use them if you're using something that isn't on Bay Soundings. Now, once you've done your summary of the article you've chosen, you need to provide the APA reference. So make sure you refer back to the notes I provided you and the APA video for that, so you know how to handle documentation for your website. And once you've completed that, you have selected your topic for your second essay. So do make sure you're happy with the topic you've selected. Again, if you want to use a website that isn't Bay Soundings, just have me take a look at it first, send me the link, and I can approve it for you. And then you'll be prepared to jump into next week, where you'll start doing some additional research on your topic. If you want to get ahead into next week, I would suggest that you take a look at the database, start going through the database and looking up additional information about your topic. So let's say, for instance, I decided to do red tide. I found an article about red tide on the Bay Soundings website that gives me the positives and the negatives of the situation. Once I've decided on my topic and I've taken care of this, if I wanted to get ahead, I would then go into the college database and start looking up information about red tide, either the pros or the cons of the situation. Now, pros could be something like it is diminishing, for instance, or it's at a lower rate, in March compared to January, or whatever it might be. The pro, when it comes to the positive of the situation, the positive could simply be something like incidents are lower this month. It doesn't have to be a huge, startling positive, and it doesn't have to be a huge, startling negative either. So you just want to have some article that touches on two sides of the issue, gives a little bit of information for a disturbing idea and then a promising idea. And beyond that, you can start jumping into the database research, which will be required for the essay. So you will have to find at least a database source to go with the essay eventually. So if you want to research ahead, that will get you well into next week.